Love is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. It shapes who we are, how we see the world, and how we connect with others. But among all the relationships we have in a lifetime, there's one that holds a strangely sacred place in our hearts: the first love. It's that person who made your heart race for the very first time, who showed you what butterflies felt like, who introduced you to both the magic and the pain of emotional vulnerability. Yet, for many, even years later, after moving on, marrying someone else, raising children, or living an entirely different life, there's still a piece of the heart that whispers their name. Why is it that some people never get over their first love? This video explores the psychology, emotion, nostalgia, and scars behind this unforgettable bond. We'll walk through the science and soul of it, examine stories that many of us carry but rarely speak aloud, and offer guidance on how to find peace with a past that still haunts you. So take a deep breath. This isn't just a story about a person. It's a story about you. There's a moment in time, a season of innocence, when love arrives not as an expectation, but as a revelation. Your first love was never just a person. They were a mirror, reflecting who you were becoming, a reflection of your curiosity, your fears, your dreams. You didn't just fall for them. You fell for the feeling of being seen for the first time. You remember how they looked at you like you mattered. Maybe it happened in high school or during a summer when the world felt wide open. Maybe they were your best friend who slowly became something more. It could have been the way they laughed or how they made you feel invincible. And then it ended. Sometimes in tears, sometimes in silence, sometimes because life pulled you in opposite directions. But no matter how much time has passed, part of you still remembers. Why? Why do some people never get over their first love? Because first love isn't just about the person. It's about the imprint. You were young, vulnerable. You loved with your whole being because you didn't know how not to. No walls, no defenses, just raw, wild emotion. Your brain, flooded with dopamine and oxytocin, carved memories into stone. You weren't just falling in love. You were forming your identity, and that person became part of it. So even when they left, the imprint remained. That's why a song still tightens your chest. Why a smell, a voice, a dream can bring them back in a second. Not because you haven't moved on, but because they were your beginning, and beginnings are sacred. Psychologically, your first love is your first deep attachment beyond family. It teaches you how to trust, how to want, how to ache. It creates a blueprint for what you expect from love and what you fear. And when it ends, especially if it ends abruptly, it leaves a wound that doesn't fully close. For some, it scars over. For others, it stays open, quietly bleeding into every relationship after. You might fall in love again, build a beautiful life. But that first love? That's the chapter where your heart first learned to speak. And sometimes, you still hear its whisper. Getting over someone isn't always about time. It's about transformation. And some transformations never really end. They just evolve. You're not the same person anymore. But the version of you who loved them, they still live somewhere inside. And maybe that's okay. Maybe you're not supposed to forget. Maybe you're meant to carry them differently. Here's the truth we rarely say aloud. Sometimes we hold on to our first love, not because they were perfect, but because they were tied to a time when we were. before the heartbreaks, before the betrayals, before we learned to protect our hearts so carefully. They were a symbol of who we were before life happened. So maybe it's not them you miss. Maybe it's you. First love is a crash course in emotional gravity. It teaches you how to fly and how hard it is to fall. It's clumsy, chaotic, and sometimes painful. But it's also pure, unfiltered, real in a way adult love sometimes forgets how to be. Because back then, love wasn't strategic. It wasn't filtered through past pain. It wasn't cautious. It was everything. All of you. You didn't love with rules. You loved with your soul. And when it ended, it didn't just break your heart. It broke the version of you who believed love was safe. That's what lingers. Not just the person, but the memory of a version of yourself. Unscarred, unedited, wide open. You're not longing for them. You're longing for the you who believed love could last forever. The one who hadn't yet learned to hold back. And that's why first love stays with us. Not because we want to relive it, but because it reminds us of something sacred, how deeply we're capable of feeling. And isn't that worth remembering? If your first love still lingers in your heart, even years or decades later, you're not broken, and you're not alone. Here are more guiding insights to help you understand, honor, and heal this part of your story. Acknowledge without shame. Don't berate yourself for remembering. Memory is not a betrayal. It's a reminder that you were once deeply human, that your heart once beat wild and free. It's okay to feel something when you think of them. You're not weak. You're just remembering the intensity of a heart that hadn't yet been taught to fear. Recognize the symbolism. Often you're not missing them. You're missing who you were with them. The freedom, the intensity, the youth, the possibility. Nostalgia can blur reality. It can make us forget the arguments, the confusion, the immaturity. What you miss is often the feeling, not the facts. Write to your younger self. Instead of reaching out to them or reliving memories in silence, write a letter to your younger self. Thank them for loving so fiercely. Tell them what you've learned. Give them the closure they never had. This can be one of the most healing things you do. You might realize the goodbye you needed wasn't to your ex, it was to your own past. Don't compare present love to past emotion. First love is rarely mature love. It's often chaotic, untested, idealized. The love you have now, calmer, deeper, more intentional, might feel different, but that doesn't mean it's lesser. You've grown. Your love should too. Understand the neuroscience. Your brain remembers peak emotional moments more vividly. That doesn't mean your first love was better, just neurologically embedded. Knowing this can help detach idealization from reality. It's like hearing an old song that brings tears to your eyes. It's not just the melody. It's where you were when you first heard it. Channel the feeling creatively. Use the lingering emotion as creative fuel. Write a poem, paint, journal, make art. Sometimes love that never found closure seeks expression in other forms. Let it out. Don't keep it locked inside. Let beauty grow from the ache. Let love be a chapter, not a cage. You're not disloyal for remembering, nor weak for feeling. But you must not let memory become a prison. The goal is to honor your past without losing the present. Because the person in front of you now deserves all of you. Understand that closure doesn't always come from others. Waiting for an apology, for a conversation, for understanding. It may never come. The person you were then may no longer exist, and neither does the version of them that you loved. Closure isn't a moment with them. It's a decision within yourself. You don't need to hear "I'm sorry" to say, "I accept what happened." You get to close the chapter, even if the other person never shows up for the final scene. Separate the emotion from the idealization. Over time, we tend to romanticize our first love. We remember the best parts. We blur the arguments. We forget the misunderstandings. Ask yourself, do I miss them? Or do I miss how I felt with them? Often, we miss the context of our first love, the freedom, the music, the season of life, the innocence. Reconnecting with those feelings doesn't require reuniting with the person. Let go of the fantasy reunion. Sometimes we hold on to first love as a fallback fantasy. If everything falls apart, maybe we'll find our way back. But fantasies often stand in the way of building something real in the present. You deserve a love that sees you now, not just someone who remembers who you were. Letting go of the fantasy allows real love to find you where you are. Embrace the growth that love brought. Your first love may not have lasted, but it left you with lessons. What did you learn about vulnerability, communication, boundaries, hope? Use that wisdom. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof you lived bravely. Talk about it with someone you trust. You don't have to carry this weight alone. Speak it, share it with a therapist, a friend, a journal. There is no shame in remembering someone who meant the world to you once. In fact, it's brave. Because talking about our first love is often talking about our first loss. And grief, in any form, deserves space. Know that first love was just the beginning. Yes, it was special. Yes, it was unforgettable. But it was only the first proof that your heart could open, not the last. There is still so much more love ahead, richer, wiser, steadier. And now, you walk into it with the depth your first love gave you. They were the spark, but you are the flame that kept burning.